everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Lori. I still have no idea where my microphone is. I put it somewhere. I can't seem to find it. And that's okay. It's around here somewhere. I'll have to look for it at another time. But I still haven't fixed that whole other video thing. So it's just you and I now here. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the expectations of healing, because I hear this all the time. And I think you're going to have to curb your expectations a little bit. I think the expectations of what you're seeking may be a little bit unrealistic. And I thought I'd break it down for you, right? And I'm going to cover it in a few, in not a few videos, but in a few different examples. But number one, something I tell everybody from day one. On your healing journey, you're going to lose people. It's okay. It's the version of you is outgrowing the situation with them. You're not outgrowing people, so you're going to have to curb that ego a little bit, but you're not outgrowing them as a person. The version of you that was with them is what you're distancing from. You don't get to heal in an environment that's going to remain the same and like, let's call it safe. Let's call it comfortable. You're not going to heal that way. There's not a scenario where you can. It's just not going to happen. So you got to accept that. You got to sit with that and realize that, you know, and in combination with that, let's call it like a 1A kind of thing. People don't have to like cheerlead this journey of yours. They don't have to understand it. They don't have to ask you about it. Everybody's on a different part of their journey. Everybody. We're all going to the same destination, but everybody's on a different part of their journey. So when you can get clear in that and you can accept that, well, whether you accept it or not, if you want to heal, that's what's going to happen. Not might, it just will. And, you know, kind of with that, not only are you going to distance from people, and they might distance from you, by the way. It's not even like it's not like you're going to be like, okay, everybody, let's make some distancing. It'll just manifest itself. It's just going to happen the way it happens. And you don't have to like it, you don't have to love it, but it's part of the growth. Right? Because you can't always grow. Everybody can't always be on that same journey with you. And be clear that on that journey, you might be accused of a lot of things, like feeling extra, like, oh my God, like, oh, you're better than me now. Oh, well, what are you going through something? So you have to keep in mind that there's a good chance, almost guarantee you, that on this journey, people are going to judge it. They're not necessarily going to support it. And they might sit on the sidelines and just wait for you to be like, you know, that this is just something you're going through. You can't look at that now and be like, oh my God, that sucks. I don't want to do it. I'm telling you ahead of time what to expect so you can decide if this is the journey you want. And even if it's not something that you want now, you want to goal towards wanting it. Because until you're healed, things are going to stay the same. Remember, nothing changes until you change it. Your perspective of it, your mindset of it. So that's your first one. That's like big, solid one. Big, solid one. So if you are living in that space where you're like, well, I want everybody to come along, I want everybody to support the journey. Yeah, no, that's your ego. You could desire that, but that's just not how it's going to be. Right? And so you got to be clear in that. And you got to realize on that journey, and it's a long journey. It's a lifelong journey. That goes into number 2, patience. If you think you're going to have a few sessions with me or anybody else, you're going to take some pills, like you're going to take your medicine, you're going to journal, you're going to do these things, all of a sudden you're just going to feel good. Not going to happen. There's no scenario where that's going to happen. You might start feeling better, but guess what? On that journey, there's no journey that goes from here to here, and this is just a straight line. You will go backwards, and you have to. That's how you incorporate your tools. That's how you incorporate your tools. I'm going to talk about it in an upcoming podcast too, like kind of this whole thing, but we're going to do it a little bit deeper. So you have to understand that things are just not going to happen overnight. If you decide I'm going to set up a session to talk about my marriage, you're going to also talk about your childhood. We're going to start talking a lot about you. And you're going to be like, well, I'm here for my marriage. That's a symptom. Your marriage is a symptom of your deeper rooted issues. So it's the patience, it's the understanding that not only is it not fast, it is your responsibility to do this for the rest of your natural born life. You don't get complacent. Yeah, you'll feel better on your journey. You'll feel better. You'll start accepting things. It'll be great. You're not going to feel as triggered. And those are all beautiful things. But it's not one and done. It's not like, oh, bam, bam, boom, I got it. I am great. I don't have to put a lot of, no. You celebrate every one of these little baby steps. But every one of these baby steps in your entire life is what's creating the pyramid, which is like, say, your end of life. It's creating that pyramid. You don't stop building it because it feels good. You don't stop building because it's hard. That's not what happens. So if you're not committed to if you're not oh my God, I can't speak. If you're not committed to understanding that this is a journey that you're going to be on for the rest of your life. You're going to lose people. People are going to say things. You're going to distance from people. You're going to change things. You're going to reevaluate. It's not overnight. Don't say, well, I've been going to therapy for a year. And what do you think? All of a sudden you're supposed to feel great? You also got to do the work. You got to do the work. Don't say, well, I've been going for a year and I don't feel like I'm doing any better. Oh, have you been taking some of their recommendations? Have you been, well, I mean, kinda. Well, if you're inconsistent, you're going to have inconsistent results. Nobody cares how you feel. If you want to feel better, you got to do the work. There's no shortcuts and there's no fast fix. Fast fix is not sustainable. So that's number 2, right? So let's talk about number 3. Oh God, I love them all. I love them all because they're so important. Number 3, you got to own your stuff. Yep. Stop blaming other people. You got to get out of the victimization of your mindset. Yep. What happened? Crappy, terrible. That's right. We're not invalidating that. It happened, but you're here now. No, it isn't anybody else's responsibility to heal you. It isn't anybody else's responsibility to feel sorry for you. It isn't anybody else's responsibility to take on your bad day. It's not. It's the radical acceptance, baby. Mwah! Radical acceptance for the win in everything in life. So you got to get clear in that. You got to be willing to expose yourself to that pain. You got to be willing to expose yourself to those triggers. But it's your responsibility to heal. Yours. Not the people who wronged you. Not the people who you felt like screwed up your childhood, screwed up your life. Not them. You're here now. It is your responsibility. This is what you need to know going into it. If you think you should, like, let's say you're in couples counseling and you want to go to counseling to say, well, look how right I am and it's all about this other person, don't go to therapy. That's not what it's there for. If you can't hear the things that maybe they feel about you without being triggered and being like, oh my God, I'm such a fun sub, then don't go. You're looking for somebody to tell you you're right. You can be right or you can be happy. And to be happy means 2 + 2 is 9. It is what it is. So if you're not willing to go into it and own your stuff and be clear that you can't control other people, it's not about what you want your husband or wife to do or your spouse or your kids to do. What are you doing? Right? Because with that means you're going to have to stop judging people. You're going to have to stop looking and going, oh, what's wrong with them? What's wrong with these people? What's wrong with these people? You got to stop doing it. It's not going to serve your best and highest good. It never will. So if you're not willing to accept those 3 big things about healing, then you're going to have to figure out why you're not accepting them, because you can't get on your journey. You're not just going to, remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Like, you can sit there and take every shortcut you want. You can say, I just want to feel better right now. I'm taking my medicine. It's not working. Well, what are you expecting from it? What do you think you're just going to be like, not have feelings anymore? That's not how life works, baby. So when you accept those 3 things, now we know that you're going to start doing the work. And you have to ask yourself, are you committed to feeling uncomfortable? Are you committed to showing up for yourself when you don't feel like showing up? Are you committed to feeling isolated at times and lonely because you need that space to be able to know what you need and what you are and who you are in life? Remember, not only do you have to own your stuff, you have to realize that it's your responsibility for your happiness, no one else. And then you're willing to commit to doing the work. When you rectify and you reconcile that, now you're ready to do the work. So that is your entire homework of questions that you need. That's a call to action. On this journey of the thing that we call life healing and self-love, are you willing to go? Well, it doesn't matter. Well, you got to ask yourself if you're willing, because it's going to hurt. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It's going to feel lonely. But the end goal is oh my God, so priceless. It's not fast, and it's constant work every single day. And always remember, it's how you show up for yourself. If you halfway show up for yourself, you're halfway going to get the results. If you show up for yourself, you will get the full results. And that's the 3 rules that you need to accept before going into your healing.